Caught on the road. Everything. I wish I never used to do this.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual. Customize and save. And then it would.
Kyler was funny. I just told you. Hold on. That was smart, because if I hear this, bro, oh my, sorry, no. I'm waking up out of any kind of sleep. If I hear that, I'm waking up. Like, what do you, like, he should have woke up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, it's either two things. Either my son was really tired, or she really put that thing on me. That thing. And y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that thing. The volume low?
You are not, today, right now, for the next 20 minutes of my life, you are no longer talking to me. You are no longer talking to who? Okay, some dumb. You are no longer talking to me. Casanat is
Oh, her phone was on silent?
Casanat this and third. You talking about Casanat wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Your time has come. Listen to me. Here's the thing, Jack. Word to my mother. It happens all this. They don't understand. Everything will come to light. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. We done been here against me the last time.
Hit that subscribe button, man. Word, roll to 1,000.
Bro, I put a pose in the world. What pose you put into the world? I put the pose into the world. I put a pose in the world. What pose did you solidify out here? We are introduced to Connor, who has just made the home. Everything will come to light. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. We done been here.
Directly paying for pussy is crazy.
When I built those sites from the ground up, they're done. First things first. 29 p.m. on Wednesday. You've seen that, right? Okay. Oh wait, there's another one. Wait, Kai, hold on. You also said 5,000 on November 10th at 12:34 a.m. Okay, follow me. Now.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, turn your screen on.
It's nighttime.
It's nighttime. You sound young. You're not 21.
I'm promised I'm 21. Go on my page and look, you a donor already.
Put something on your story so I know it's you.
My Instagram story?
Yeah, I check right now. You sound like a child.
Bro, this is how I sound. I just posted on Instagram. Go look.
I don't know your Instagram like that. I don't.
It's my name, Misha.
Misha,
Wait,
I don't know you, Misha.
Why is it echoing?
I have to go for sure. Real quick.
Okay, it's not echoing. Girl, just like Misha. You seen it yesterday, Clarence.
Misha, we're not cool. Don't talk to me like we
No, I didn't
cool.
say we was cool. I didn't say we was cool at all because I heard you drag me for no reason when I wasn't coming for you, baby.
No, but you gotta understand, you don't come for my girl though.
I wasn't coming for your girl though. If you did your research, you would have seen I said I like her and I want her to get married. If you read all the comments, you would have seen that.
Nah, but I don't do that. I just seen it.
I said
went in the comments. I went in the comments and I seen the most liked comment was you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Do you see how like?
Yes, defend your girl, but I'm saying you came for me.
Defend your
like
bitch,
my
cause
man
niggas
was
play and he
saying
get his
you
wife
there.
killed.
And I posted that.
Where he at? You posted him? Why you
I put it on my story. I edited you on my story and I posted it.
Why are you storing your man?
I keep that private, you know.
So he there right now?
Oh no, he at work.
Well, I would love to talk to him.
No, you don't, because he was not happy with that, what you said.
I don't care what your man is happy with.
But you care what I said. But you care what I said. But you care what I said.
Because I know he not with you right now. Like I can just tell. Like no man is gonna be okay with being storied. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm a grown man. I know. So
you ain't fucking grown. You make it go childish.
Right now, your man not at work. You don't know where your man is at.
I do
Keep
know
it
where
on
he
it.
is.
Keep it on it. So call him right
I
now.
know where he is. I can't call him at work.
He a grown ass man. That sucks.
He's a grown ass man.
He can't pick up the phone at work.
I'm not gonna call him while he at work. You okay?
Lisa, you just let's just all be honest here. You know what I'm saying?
Let's be honest.
Like if you was with your man, right, and he went to the photo shoot and you took pictures with your man, then why wasn't he in the slide and why you had to post him on a story to prove a point? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Can you see like where that's weird? Can we agree on that?
It's not weird. It's my page. I posted me on my page. What are you talking about?
He's nowhere to be found.
I have to post my page. I have to post him.
Are you guys married?
No, we're not married. How was that funny? I never said I was married. I said Queen deserves to be married. That's what I said.
And you don't?
I do. If you go in the comments and look, I said I went for my ring too. Yo, people, you got a payroll stamp on my ring, guys. I'm looking for mine too.
I don't got nobody on payroll. Those are called supporters.
It seems like it.
Those are called supporters. You
no, you got them on payroll because they were going hard for no reason.
People go hard for me. People go hard for me. Yeah. Just like I go hard for Queen. You know what I'm saying?
And I go hard for myself.
That's what I'm saying. But why your man not going hard? What's your man's Instagram?
I ain't finna get
What you trying to fight? What you trying to fight?
Information out.
What your man trying to fight or something? Why he DMing me? What you DMing me?
Because you came for him basically.
Was it? I did come for him. I would rather speak to him right now, honestly, because it would be a more fair matchup. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean no fair matchup? People growing ass men.
Yeah, it's like right now, that's why I'm coming, like you see, I'm very polite, like I'm not trying to come at you, no crazy.
That's a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, because I thought you was like, you comment like you grown. You know what I'm saying? So I thought you was grown, but you were really a little girl. No offense.
I'm grown. How am I a
You're
girl?
21.
I'm grown though.
You're
own spot, own car, bills, baby. Life good, blessed.
Where you from?
I'm from Louisiana. Where you from?
I'm from New York. Yeah.
That's nice.
Where your man from? He from out there too?
He from Louisiana.
What he do like for work?
He drives trucks.
Oh, he's a truck driver.
He is.
Oh, so he's like he's rough around the edges type shit.
What you mean rough around the edges? What you supposed to mean?
Like, nah, truck drivers, like, I got a certain vision of truck drivers. Like, is he fat?
No, he ain't no fat.
Now, usually truck drivers is fat. My fault. I'm just trying to say.
Yeah.
He's skinny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll beat him up then. If he was fat, if he was fat, I would have, you know what I'm saying, I would have gave it to him. But nigga, he's
He
skinny.
do not wear no suspenders, y'all. What are y'all talking about?
I feel like
If
this
he's
drop
skinny,
court.
I'm washing.
I mean,
I
I let
don't
the
know.
run there.
He
I'm
has no
tripping.
hope. Like how
He
much
like
you weigh?
skinny buff. He's skinny buff.
Skinny buff.
Skinny
That don't
buff.
make no sense. Misha.
Buff at the top and skinny at the bottom, Clarence.
So he don't work on his legs.
He drives trucks. He sit down. What you mean?
So he don't work on his legs. Is what I'm saying.
He do leg day, but I'm saying his legs is skinny. He got a skinny build. The hell?
Nah, you funny, Misha. I'm not gonna lie, you funny. I was your.
Somebody said she do love Queen. I do love Queen. The world.
So you
I
love,
said a
so you
comment
love
joke.
Queen. You don't
Y'all
love.
dragged me.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This world is filled with wannabe jokes. You know what I'm saying? I know it doesn't bother Queen at all. But what if it did? You know what I'm saying?
That joke's been around for ages. It don't bother her.
No, it don't bother
But no,
her
the real
now. But
question
I'm
is
just
why
saying.
you not engaged to her? That's what we want to know. That's all we want to know.
Why
She
can't-
deserves the ring.
She deserves more than a ring, Misha.
Hey,
Why?
that's how we want to see that y'all are public figures.
So
Show us
just-
that.
So just
Prove us
fuck when
wrong.
I'm ready, right? Just fuck me.
You
Like,
should be ready.
are you
How
gonna-
long has it
Do
been?
you put the same pressure on your truck driving boyfriend?
I do. I really do. That's why I put it on you right now.
So why hasn't he popped the question?
I'm waiting, but we ain't been together for that long. Like y'all have been together. I'm a fan of Queen, yes.
Oh, so
What the
fuck me.
world? You disrespected me. You disrespected me. I'm not no bird, bro.
I didn't disrespect you.
I went to college and graduated.
I went to college too.
I'm like, she don't.
Hit the subscribe button, y'all.
I
What's
went to college
up?
too.
I do have a baby. They got a real pretty baby. Y'all go look at her.
No, I didn't see a baby though. You know,
He wants to smoke with me.
I was just more
End up
talking
in the
about
seat.
you and your boyfriend's relationship.
Kill him
Like
with
you're
the
not
motherfucker.
married either.
He trying to
So I
stop.
just thought you
He trying
shouldn't
to hop.
be commenting about
Knock him
marriage
down.
if
I
you're not
get that
married.
part,
Like
but
that's
it
my
wasn't
whole
the
point. Like that's my
No,
whole
I
point.
get what
That
y'all
nigga
were
said
saying.
use your
Y'all
hand.
said
And
what
you and your
y'all-
man not even together, Nisha. Like
Who
I
said that?
Nisha, let's just call it what it is. We live in 2025.
Fact.
Does your man post you?
He do.
Oh my God. Your man's a bitch.
What? Wait a minute. You're going too far.
He's a
See how you
bitch.
can disrespectful?
No, I'm saying I'm not being disrespectful. He needs to come to my class. That's what he needs to do.
What
Because
class?
why I give a class every Saturday for niggas like your
Why we
man.
gotta post on our page though? We can post on our story.
If he's posting
we
you,
can post
why
on
you,
our story.
if he's posting you, why you not posting him?
I don't even do so. I do post it. I just did for you, and I put it class and YC. What are you talking about?
Let me see. I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
He's not in the picture, y'all. I put it on my story yesterday when all this happened. Y'all still on this like I can't be famous because y'all do too much. Y'all took a joke and ran with it. What the hell?
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. Sometimes some people don't take certain jokes as jokes. That was a joke to you.
Queen didn't care.
I
She did
care,
not
Nisha.
care.
That's why I responded to you. Cause
Yeah,
I
you
care.
care, so get on the ring then.
Nisha,
You
who
should
the
be
fuck
tired
are
of
you
this
to tell
joke.
me? I'm not tired of this joke.
Joke.
I'm starting to like it.
Well, that's good.
I'm starting to like the joke, Nisha.
Why do you like this joke, Clarence? Why do you love it?
I don't know.
Why do you love it?
It's like it keeps my name out there, you know, people
A conversation starter, baby.
yeah, it's like it's like you guys are actually keeping me, you know. People die for this kind of attention. Do you know what I'm
You're
saying?
right. You're right.
And it keeps me out there. I just got, you know how much a shade room post costs?
I really don't.
It's probably over 100,000. I just got it for free. Do you know what I'm saying?
Real.
And now,
Yeah,
look,
I got all these people in my comments for free.
yeah, that's why I said this would be good for you. That's why.
On FanDuel Casino, every day is your chance at a free jackpot and the #1 fan.
She fucking up. She trying to be cool today. If she would have came out on his ass, it would have been better. Hold on. No Diddy, bro. What the fuck I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, just hopped on his ass, like, fuck you talking to, nigga, you a bitch ass nigga. Yeah, marry her. It would have been better, but he came out holding her, like, why you all on me and my bitch business, basically. And she really sound dumb. She sound like a fan that don't know nothing. She's saying, "Oh, me and my man not married. Me and my if you and your man not married, who the fuck is you to tell anybody?"
This film is about a young man named Tony and his ex-wife.
If you ain't motherfucking God yourself.
Tony has a son, and they take turns taking.
You not tell nobody to get married, buddy. You don't tell nobody what to do. That was what her problem was.
After his son goes to sleep, Tony goes to the warehouse to work on his motorbike. In the morning, before going to work, he takes his son to Layla. Tony works as an operator in a warehouse, but his main job is being a racer. Before every race, Tony focuses and prepares himself mentally and physically. He trains hard and comes up with good strategies to be ready for the race. When he is about to race, all his thoughts and feelings are on the racetrack. When the race started, Tony did very well. He drove really fast and passed several racers in front of him. In that moment, Tony focused all his thoughts on the track, showing his best skills without any distractions. He carefully handled every turn in straight line. Slowly, he moved up in position and finally became the leader, beating all his competitors. But when Tony thought everything was going well and he was close to winning, his motorbike engine had problems. It was really bad luck, and he had to stop, giving up his chance to win the race. While he was alone, a man approached him. This man was impressed by Tony's skills and offered him a chance to join Ducati's racer selection. Knowing this was a big opportunity for his career, Tony accepted. The team's goal was to win superbike races and then join MotoGP. Now, they were all here for training and selection. Tony felt very confident in his abilities. There, he gave his best and outperformed all his competitors. The team leader saw this and was amazed by him. The next day, Tony wanted to meet Layla to tell her the news. The area where she lived was controlled by one of Mouse's gangs. Turns out, Tony and Musa had been friends since childhood, like brothers. He knew about Mouse's business, but didn't want to get involved. When Tony was climbing the stairs, he ran into a group of mysterious people. He saw the broken door and messy room, realizing they had just come to see Layla. It turns out Layla was a courier for illegal goods, and her current boyfriend had run away with the goods. The boss wanted money for the lost items. At that time, Layla was given 1 week to pay off her debts. Even though Layla made bad choices, Tony wanted to help her. He took her and their son to live at his house for a while. They would stay there until the problem was solved. The next morning, Tony went back to pick up his motorbike. Luckily, Musa had kept it safe. There, Tony told him about the problem and that he wanted to meet the person who came to see Layla. As the leader of the area, Musa knew who it was. He warned Tony not to get involved with people like that. But Tony had to do it to save Layla. Musa finally told him that the person was named Jordan. Jordan worked for Miguel, Mouse's business rival. Soon after, Tony went to their headquarters right away. When he got there, he asked to see Jordan. The waiter called Jordan, who already knew about Tony and Layla. Jordan gave Tony 1 week to pay the debt. At that time, Tony was confused and didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Miguel was outside looking at Tony's motorbike. He knew Tony was a racer. Then, Miguel offered Tony a job as his courier to pay off Layla's debt. At first, Tony refused because it would affect his racing career. But if he didn't accept, Layla and their son would be in danger. No one else could protect them. Without telling anyone about this, Tony decided to accept the offer. After meeting Jordan, Tony was taken by car to a different place. There, Tony saw a motorbike and was given a bag by a mysterious person. He had to take the bag to the place where he met Jordan, which was 120 kilometers away. At that moment, Tony had to use the toll road and stop at a rest area to refuel, where a group would be waiting for him. With no other choice, Tony started his journey. He rode his motorbike fast, not paying attention to other vehicles. Then, he entered the toll road as instructed. Everything went smoothly until he reached the rest area to refuel. Tony hoped things would stay calm until he...
Clean, moisturizing hair care isn't a myth. It's native shampoo and conditioner.
The secret to staying on top of your business finances? Zero. As a media business owner, I love zero.
He arrived. But then, he saw a police car behind him. Shockingly, the car easily caught up with him because of Tony's high speed. But there, Tony didn't want to get caught. so he quickly turned and went the opposite way. He almost
He
got
said
hit
he wants
several
smoke from
times,
me.
but luckily, he survived. Because of his daring moves,
Yeah.
Tony escaped the
Yeah,
police
yeah.
and reached his destination. Soon after, Jordan took the bag and gave it to Miguel. Miguel was happy with Tony's work. To pay off Layla's
Hit
debt,
that subscribe
Tony
button,
had to
y'all.
work for Miguel for 2 months. With no other choice, he agreed. Then, Miguel gave Tony a special phone to receive mission calls. Finally, Tony's first task was done, but he still had almost 2 months of work left. Exhausted, Tony was late for his regular job. After work,
I
he
need to
went to
haircut.
train with his racing team. Even though he was tired, he performed well. The team principal reminded him to keep up his performance. As the oldest, Tony faced higher expectations and had to beat all his competitors to secure his spot. When Tony was going home, Miguel and Jordan suddenly appeared. They scolded Tony for not answering his phone. Even though it was late, they took Tony to do another mission. Just like before, he had to carry a package on the toll road. This time, the motorbike police saw him and chased him quickly. Tony filled up his fuel before the police arrived, but they were so close that he had to leave without fully refueling. There, Tony's motorbike was at maximum speed, but the police were catching up. But Tony tricked them by taking a different route and managed to escape. However, he knew it wouldn't always be this easy. Then, he asked for a faster motorbike and 2 motorbikes so he wouldn't have to stop for fuel. At home, Tony often daydreamed, thinking about his missions. Layla noticed something was wrong. Then, Tony finally told her the truth. He asked Layla not to worry because he was handling everything. With this, Layla and their son could return to their flat and live normally. Meanwhile, Tony kept working for Miguel as agreed. Unexpectedly, Miguel granted all of Tony's requests. Now, Tony could do his mission safely with his new strategy. He also had to keep up with his racing training and warehouse job. There was no time to rest because he had to go on another mission that night. Soon after, Miguel gave Tony drugs to boost his adrenaline. Because he was forced and very tired, Tony took them. He started his motorbike quickly. Having traveled the toll road many times, he was confident. With the spare motorbike, he could keep going without stopping. The plan worked, and Tony decided to use this strategy for future missions. Turns out, 3 activities that Tony does every day drain his energy and thoughts. He became increasingly weak and lost his concentration. However, he has to do everything because of the agreement he made. To maintain his stamina, Tony was forced to keep taking the medicine he was given before. He no longer cares about the side effects, because the important thing is that he can carry out all his activities. Then, the head of his racing team noticed that Tony's physical condition looked different. However, Tony didn't want to talk about his problem and kept it a secret. Suddenly, Miguel contacted Tony and told him to come to his place because there was a change of plans. The border was closed by the police to avoid riots caused by demonstrators. Miguel didn't want his work to stop, so he asked Tony for advice. In these conditions, Tony needed a vehicle that could go through all terrains, like a trail motorbike. This delivery was risky, not only because he could get caught, but also because he could lose his life. All this time, Musa was watching Tony and finally met him. Musa didn't want Tony to fall deeper with people like them. However, Tony knew what he was doing and was ready to accept the consequences. That night, everyone went to meet Farid, the seller of goods this time. Farid was a cunning person, so Miguel was always wary of him. Then, all preparations were done, and Tony got the route and destination. After a few minutes, the road was closed by the police. Unfortunately, Tony had to find another way. Luckily, he was on a tricycle, so he could go to different places. He needed to stay alert while passing through demonstrators. After climbing some stairs, he was close to his destination. He thought he was safe, but some people were waiting for him. There, Tony realized they were after the package he was carrying. He ran and looked for a place to hide. When he had the chance, he told Miguel about the incident. Tony needed to leave quickly and go to the specified location. Soon after, Jordan arrived and took him away. Thankfully, Tony was safe along with the package. The next day, Miguel figured out that the attack was Farid's plan. To get rid of evidence, Miguel had to destroy the car he used last night. In this world, everyone had to be suspicious of each other, including their business partners and friends. Because of what happened, Tony's fatigue was at its peak. It was already morning, and he had no time to rest. He became weak and got a nosebleed. But he had no choice and had to keep going. In this condition, Tony's performance dropped a lot. His vision became blurry, causing him to fall. It was too late, and he had no second chance. His dream of becoming a professional racer was over. Now, Tony had to finish the agreement with Miguel. The next mission was the final one. Even though Miguel wanted him to keep working together, Tony refused. He just wanted this to end quickly and leave. Despite sacrificing a lot for Layla, Tony didn't regret it. For the final mission, Tony had to deliver a package to the transaction location. Jordan was there to negotiate with the buyer. Fortunately, everything went smoothly. However, when Tony wanted to leave, Jordan told him to be ready for the next day. Hearing that Tony refused because his deal with Miguel ended that day, Jordan threatened to kill Layla if Tony didn't comply. Then, Tony realized that if this continued, he would be trapped forever. Without thinking, he returned to Jordan and beat him up. His blows finally cost Jordan his life. Immediately, Tony contacted Musa for help to sort things out. Tony knew that after this, Miguel would target him, but he had a plan. At that time, Tony wanted to help Musa eliminate Miguel by leaking his secret base and getting all the documents. This way, they could finish him off. As predicted, Miguel came to Tony because Jordan disappeared. Tony pretended not to know and lied that Jordan was working with Farid. Rushing, Miguel took him, followed by Musa, who was already ready. The next day, Musa kept following Miguel, looking for the right time to catch him. Unfortunately, Miguel ran a red light and Musa lost him. And Tony, who was with Miguel, was taken to another warehouse. This warehouse stored all their goods, and they had to help move them. When he had a chance, Tony sent his location to Musa. Meanwhile, Mouse's men saw people from Miguel's group asking about Farid. They found out the truth and told Miguel that Tony had tricked him. In that moment, Musa knew Tony's life was in danger and hurried to help him. Musa called Tony and told him to leave immediately. Realizing the danger, Tony ran and found a motorbike to escape. But in his panic, he didn't see a car in front of him and crashed. Shortly after, Miguel dragged Tony and put him in the trunk. There, Tony felt hopeless, thinking there was no way out. Suddenly, the car was hit by gunfire and rolled over. The first person Tony saw was Musa, who had come to save him. Musa and his group had defeated Miguel, and they all left safely. It's all over, and Tony's burden is gone. Even though his dreams were crushed, Tony had to live for his family, the people he had been protecting. Now, he looks for challenges at night, not racing against other racers, but against the police. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is always answer your phone and watch out for red lights, or you might end up in a wild motorbike chase and getting saved by your best buddy.
You'll be back! Emu can't help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Well, I'll be only paying for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The film begins by showing a town in Mexico where an American man named Buscemi is at Tarasco Bar, telling all the patrons about a massacre at a bar he previously visited. In his story, Buscemi, while enjoying a drink at a bar, saw a man carrying a guitar case enter and asked the bartender for a name. When the bartender and the patrons looked shocked upon hearing the name, the mysterious man immediately opened his guitar case, which was filled with weapons. Without hesitation, the man began shooting everyone in the bar indiscriminately. After hearing Buscemi's story, the bartender and patrons at Tarasco Bar laughed, thinking Buscemi was just making it up. Shortly after, everyone fell silent when Buscemi mentioned that the mysterious man was looking for a man named Bucho, the most powerful drug cartel leader in the town. Tarasco Bar was also known to be owned by Bucho, So it was no surprise that most of the bar's patrons were his men who knew the cartel leader well. Seeing the shocked expressions on many faces, Buscemi seemed pleased and left the bar, reminding everyone to be careful. Switching to the mysterious man described by Buscemi, this mysterious man was known as El Mariachi, a fairly famous musician in America. Unfortunately, after Butcho's men killed his lover and injured his hand, rendering him unable to play the guitar, El Mariachi decided to become a killer to avenge his lover. The traumatic event often caused El Mariachi to have nightmares. One night, El Mariachi woke up to the sound of a knock on his door. He opened the door to find Buscemi visiting to inform him that he had found Butcho's bar. Unexpectedly, Buscemi was one of El Mariachi's good friends who helped gather information about the drug lord. Before leaving, Buscemi advised El Mariachi to stop his revenge to prevent further casualties. Buscemi was worried that if El Mariachi continued to massacre Butcho's men, Butcho would deploy all his men to hunt down him. The next day, at his residence, Butcho was seen managing his illegal business as usual. As a ruthless cartel leader, Butcho was the most feared person among all the cartels in the town. Even government officials did not dare to interfere with him because Butcho had many strong henchmen, recruited through various fighting tests. Returning to El Mariachi, despite Buscemi's warning, he went to Tarasco Bar carrying his guitar case. Upon arriving across from the bar, El Mariachi rested by the roadside, checking the address previously given by Buscemi. At the same time, a boy named Nino, who often buskied on the street, approached El Mariachi out of curiosity about the guitar case he was carrying. When Nino tried to open the guitar case, El Mariachi quickly stopped him and warned Nino not to touch his guitar case. Nino then said that he was just curious about the guitar inside such a nice case. Nino also hoped that El Mariachi would teach him how to play the guitar so he could earn more money from busking. Initially, El Mariachi refused to teach Nino, but after hearing his poor guitar playing, El Mariachi decided to teach him some basics. After Nino left, El Mariachi hurried into Tarasco Bar. When the bartender and all the bar patrons saw El Mariachi enter with the guitar case, they suspected him to be the mysterious man Buscemi had described. Therefore, the bartender immediately ordered the guards to check his guitar case. When the case was opened, nothing suspicious was initially seen, but as the case's spring opened further, the guards finally saw the weapons hidden under the guitar. Quickly, El Mariachi grabbed his weapon and killed everyone in the bar. Without remorse, El Mariachi noticed that everyone was dead and hurried to leave the bar, followed by one surviving bar guard. El Mariachi then realized the guard was going to shoot him secretly, so he planned to outsmart him. Unfortunately, at the same time, a woman named Carolina suddenly appeared in front of El Mariachi, forcing him to protect her from the guard's gunfire. As a result of his actions, El Mariachi's arm was wounded, but he fought back and managed to kill the guard. A few moments later, Butcho and his men inspected Tarasco Bar, where many of his men had been slaughtered by El Mariachi. After confirming that the money in the bar's register was untouched, Butcho realized that the attack was not a robbery. Additionally, Butcho found a note that read, "Looking for Butcho," leading him to suspect that the attacker was targeting him. Meanwhile, El Mariachi regained consciousness after fainting from the gunshot wound in his arm and found himself in Carolina's bookstore. At that moment, Carolina was seen helping El Mariachi treat his gunshot wound and giving him painkillers. The next day, Butcho, furious that someone dared to massacre his men, immediately ordered his right-hand man, Memo, to find the bar attacker. Butcho also contacted his regular hitman, Navajas, to hunt down the same perpetrator. Navajas, who was near the location at the time, already knew that El Mariachi was the one Butcho was hunting. Therefore, Navajas quickly searched for his target, who was suspected to still be around the Tarasco Bar area. In the bookstore, Carolina, out of curiosity, secretly opened El Mariachi's guitar case while he was sleeping. Unexpectedly, El Mariachi woke up suddenly, causing Carolina to be frightened for being caught opening someone else's belongings without permission. However, El Mariachi was not angry at all and allowed Carolina to handle his weapon. El Mariachi even entrusted the guitar case to Carolina because he was going to the church for confession. Upon arriving at the church, El Mariachi entered the confession booth and met Buscemi, who expressed his disappointment that he did not heed his advice. Buscemi, knowing that Butcho was hunting his friend, urged El Mariachi to leave the town immediately. Moreover, Buscemi stressed that he did not want to help El Mariachi again and and advised him to seek help from Campa and Quino if he insisted on seeking revenge. Seeing Buscemi disappointed with him and walking away, El Mariachi tried to catch up with Buscemi in front of the church to persuade him to help with his revenge. At the same time, Navajas had secretly positioned himself behind them to launch an attack. Without any warning, Navajas immediately threw several daggers at the two friends, killing Buscemi instantly. El Mariachi, though hit by a few daggers, survived and tried to escape through a narrow alley. Determined not to lose his target, Navajas chased El Mariachi to the entrance of the alley. At the same time, Memo and his men were driving through the area in a bulletproof car recently purchased by Butcho. When they saw Navajas acting suspiciously, Memo and the others assumed that he was the one who had killed their comrades at Tarasco Bar. Without hesitation, Butcho's men drew their weapons and shot Navajas dead. Moments later, Memo and the others returned to their base to present Navajas' body, believing him to be the bar massacre perpetrator. Seeing this, Butcho was furious with Memo and the others for killing the hitman he had hired to track down the real attacker. Meanwhile, El Mariachi, injured and trying to return to Carolina's bookstore, accidentally saw Nino trading his guitar with Butcho's men, who were distributing drugs to local dealers. At that moment, El Mariachi realized that Nino had taken a new guitar filled with drugs meant for low-level dealers. At that moment, El Mariachi scolded Nino for engaging in illegal activities. Innocently, Nino explained that he did it so his father wouldn't have to work so hard anymore. Nino also revealed that Carolina was involved in the drug syndicate with Butcho, causing El Mariachi to get angry and rush off to confront her. Upon arriving at the bookstore, El Mariachi vented his disappointment at Carolina for collaborating with Butcho in distributing drugs and ruining many lives. Carolina then explained that she did it to make money to meet her needs and to save her family's bookstore from bankruptcy. As Carolina was explaining everything, El Mariachi suddenly collapsed from the blood loss caused by his injuries. Because of this, Carolina continued to care for the injured El Mariachi until they were startled by the sound of Butcho arriving at the bookstore. Quickly, Carolina pushed El Mariachi and the cash register off the table to deceive Butcho. Fortunately, her efforts succeeded, as Butcho did not suspect anything. Shortly after, Butcho explained that he came to inquire about a man with a guitar case reported to have entered her bookstore. Hearing Butcho's question, El Mariachi, hiding under the table, prepared his weapon in case Butcho launched a sudden attack. Meanwhile, Carolina tried to protect El Mariachi by telling Butcho that she had never seen the man with the guitar case he was talking about. Butcho believed Carolina, who had been his partner in a legal business for quite some time, and he and his men left. Unfortunately, after Carolina acted strangely by escorting Butcho to the front of the store, Butcho began to suspect that she was hiding something in her bookstore. After Butcho left, Carolina went back inside to treat El Mariachi's wounds. That night, Carolina asked El Mariachi to teach her how to play the guitar, and they both got caught up in the moment, eventually enjoying the night together. The next day, suspecting that Carolina had lied to him, Butcho ordered his men to search her bookstore. If they found El Mariachi there, Butcho instructed his men to kill them both. Without wasting any time, Butcho's men immediately carried out their boss's orders. Fortunately, El Mariachi noticed Butcho's men approaching, so he managed to escape with Carolina, though he had to blow up the bookstore. From the rooftop of a building across from her bookstore, Carolina sadly watched her parents' legacy burn down. El Mariachi tried to comfort Carolina by holding her. Shortly after, Carolina saw Butcho arrive to inspect her store personally. Enraged, Carolina urged El Mariachi to shoot the cartel leader who had destroyed her store. Quickly, El Mariachi grabbed his weapon and aimed at Butcho, but just before pulling the trigger, he inexplicably changed his mind. This decision left Carolina disappointed that El Mariachi let Butcho escape. On another occasion, Butcho scolded all his men for their incompetence in failing to eliminate El Mariachi and Carolina. To vent his frustration, Butcho even killed one of his men as a warning to the others not to repeat the same mistakes. Butcho's men, terrified, quickly set out to hunt down El Mariachi, who was now hiding in a hotel with Carolina. At that time, El Mariachi finally told Carolina how he came to have a vendetta against Butcho and his men after his lover was killed by Butcho's henchmen. Additionally, Butcho's men had shot El Mariachi in the palm, forcing him to quit being a musician as he could no longer play the guitar well. Since that incident,
Predator generators give you the power to do more for less. Only at Harbor Freight.
Marshall's buyers obsess over quality so that you don't have to.
I've learned over the years that your body is your moneymaker. It's what I do, and obviously I'm going to pour every resource I can into taking care of it. I'm not going to put just any protein in my...
Incident, El Mariachi began hunting Butcho, whom he held responsible for the misfortune that befell him and his lover. After finishing his story, El Mariachi contacted Campa and Quino through the hotel phone to ask for their help in facing Butcho and his men. A few hours later, Campa and Quino arrived in the town where El Mariachi was. The three of them then gathered on a street to intercept a passing car of Butcho's men. At the same time, Nino was walking in the area and was startled by the gunfight between El Mariachi's group, who were carrying guitar cases, and Butcho's men. The shootout lasted quite a while as Butcho's men kept arriving to confront El Mariachi's group. After the gunfight ended and El Mariachi managed to kill all of Butcho's men who came, El Mariachi realized that he had lost two good friends in the incident. While surveying the surroundings, El Mariachi also found Nino injured by gunfire. Seeing that Nino was still alive, El Mariachi and Carolina, who had come to fetch him, immediately took the little boy to the hospital for medical treatment. A few moments later, El Mariachi and Carolina went to Butcho's headquarters, where the cartel's men were ready to kill them both. At that moment, Butcho was shocked to see that El Mariachi was his younger brother. Butcho lowered his weapon and hugged his brother, who had been separated from him since he became a cartel leader and faked his own death. It turned out Butcho had also changed his name, so no one would know about his background and family. At that moment, Butcho was puzzled as to why El Mariachi had killed so many of his men. So El Mariachi explained the crimes Butcho's men had committed against him and his lover. To seek revenge, El Mariachi hunted Butcho until he realized that the person he was hunting was his older brother when Butcho came to Carolina's bookstore that was on fire. That was why El Mariachi ultimately decided not to shoot Butcho. Hearing his younger brother's explanation, Butcho decided to forgive El Mariachi, but he still intended to kill Carolina for betraying him. This was also a punishment for El Mariachi for causing Butcho significant losses, as he knew that El Mariachi had a romantic relationship with Carolina. Just before Butcho could shoot Carolina, El Mariachi, not wanting to lose his beloved again, quickly drew his weapon and shot Butcho dead. In the next scene, El Mariachi visited Nino, who was recovering well, and then decided to throw away his guitar case and leave the town with Carolina to start a new life. Several years later, the newly inaugurated president of Mexico appeared ambitious to eradicate the largest drug cartel in Mexico, led by Armando Guerrillo. Learning about this, Armando did not sit idly by and plan to stage a coup against the president's leadership by bribing a corrupt military general named Emiliano Marquez. If the coup succeeded and the president was killed, Armando promised to pay Marquez 25 million pesos, switching to a CIA agent named Sheldon Jeffrey Sands, who was on assignment in Mexico and learns about Armando's coup plan. Therefore, Sands intends to find someone to eliminate Marquez so he can sabotage the coup and seize the money that Armando has prepared. To start his plan, Sands met with Bellini, an informant who had long collaborated with him, to find someone who could act as the executioner to kill Marquez. At that moment, Bellini mentioned the name El Mariachi, who was known for his killing skills and had a personal vendetta against Marquez. In the past, El Mariachi and Marquez were involved in a love triangle with Carolina, who chose El Mariachi over Marquez. This enraged Marquez, and he intended to kill El Mariachi at a bar where he used to perform. When Marquez entered the bar, a shootout ensued between the two sides. At that moment, El Mariachi used his guitar, which had been modified with firearms, to fight Marquez and his men. When El Mariachi was cornered due to running out of bullets, Carolina suddenly arrived to help her lover, killing Marquez's men with a dagger. Thanks to the training El Mariachi had given her, Carolina was able to easily defeat all her opponents, including shooting Marquez. Despite suffering a severe gunshot wound, Marquez survived and decided to join Armando's cartel to seek revenge against El Mariachi and Carolina. With the help of Armando's men, Marquez launched another attack that ultimately killed Carolina. Back in the present, Sands, having obtained information about El Mariachi, paid Bellini 10,000 pesos before he left. Shortly afterward, Sands removed a fake hand that had been on the table to deceive Bellini because Sands had hidden his real hand, which held a gun, as a precaution in case Bellini tried anything against him. Meanwhile, El Mariachi, who now lives